Hello and welcome to Dishelved with Adam White. Today I'm going to talk about The Cosmic Computer by H. Beam Piper. It's vintage science fiction. I read it on my Kindle Scribe and I can't get it to show on here, so that's why I have nothing to show you. One of these days I'm going to figure out some editing software and how to throw up the pictures on the screen like everybody else does. I just have been too lazy to do that. And like I said, I'm still kind of recovering from COVID, so I haven't really felt like looking into it. But I know I've been on here for more than a year and haven't done it yet. But I prefer to do things on the fly, kind of in one take, so you can kind of take it or leave it as to how good of a job I do. Uh, like I said, I don't get that many views, so but I do appreciate those of you that do watch this. So I saw the Cosmic Computer and it had a really cool cover. It looked like were robots or cyborgs shooting stuff. And I saw it initially on one of Michael K. Vaughan's vintage science fictions from the vault. He showed it as one of the books he was going to read from that, and I thought that looks really cool. I'll check that out. And I downloaded it months ago, and I thought, well, let me give that a shot. I'll read that. I need to read something shorter in between some of these after Battle Royale, which was a pretty long book. I needed to read something shorter. So I decided to read this Cosmic Computer. I expected it to be kind of a space opera kind of, with robots and uh, just probably some kind of cosmic computer involved in it. And I started reading it, and I was like, I'm I wasn't really getting it at the beginning, and then I thought, oh, okay, I'm seeing this. This is more of a satire of business and industry, which was not what I was expecting at all from this book. And I was like, okay, now I see what he's doing here. And every time they this guy whose name is Con Maxwell, uh, this planet sends him off to study computers because there's a rumor of a cosmic computer called Merlin that they think is on their planet, left over from a war, that is a computer that can predict anything successfully. And they think that will solve all their problems if they can get to this. Now, um, when he gets back to them, first of all, I'll read you just a fun quote. Uh, young man, Mr. Con Maxwell, who has just returned from Terra, needs no introduction to any of you, he began. This is the mayor of their town. Then, having established that, he took the next 10 minutes to introduce Con. So that's kind of the thing you get in here, is that it's kind of funny about bureaucracy and stuff like that, and they form a new company to scavenge all the leftover military stuff under a rights act to where it's been there long enough to where it's free to salvage to anyone who claims it. And every time they find something new, they start a new company. And so it's like one company after another, and they're all mired in companies. And it's kind of a, like I said, a satire of business and how bureaucracies work. And I thought it was really funny in that sense too. I mean, it's not ha ha funny, but it's just it does have a sense of humor to it. Um, they also say later on they're talking about their currency there and how it, exchange rates with other planets and stuff, and he goes, it's for the birds. I'd as soon count sheets of toilet paper as this stuff we're using for money. Sooner. toilet paper can be used for something, and this paper money's too stiff. So I mean, it does have its moments of humor in it, and I really enjoyed the book for what it was, because like I said, even though it wasn't what I was expecting, and the cover, which initially led me to it, had absolutely nothing to do with the story, which is what threw me off at the beginning when I started reading it, because I was expecting something else. Now, this Merlin is kind of the MacGuffin of the whole story. They're looking for it the whole time while they're uncovering all these old army installations and scavenging stuff. They're trying to build a space-worthy ship to have for their company, and then they want to build a ship with a hyperdrive so that they can, they've got like a special kind of, I don't remember if it was brandy or whiskey or something, that they make through some kind of melon they have on their planet, and it brings in lots of money at other planets because it's really popular, and they feel if they can start their own way of getting it to places, that they can get more of that profit, and just, you know, have a better means of trade and selling their wares. And they also can sell. People are always looking for the stuff that they're coming up with, these military installations and hospitals, and there's always all sorts of things that they've got that they can sell for a good price. But this whole time they're looking for this computer, and you don't really know if it exists or not, this Merlin. And Khan, who has an interesting name, he doesn't actually believe that the computer exists, but he tells the people from his planet that exists because he wants them to help salvage this other stuff. So as long as they're looking for this computer, they're into salvaging whatever they can, and he knows that's a way to make money and to bring his planet back into the forefront of the desperate need they have for money to make their planet better. And some people are just absolutely just 100% sure that this computer exists, and you know, the military denies it ever existed, and you don't know till virtually the end whether this computer exists or not, and what it can actually do if it does. And I'm not going to tell you, because that's something you need to figure out for yourself when you read it. But it ended up in kind of a funny way, and also with the bureaucracy in how this story ends, when you discover whether there is or isn't a Merlin, and what they have to do because of that, whether there is or isn't. But it's a really interesting story. Not what I expected at all, but I really enjoyed it. And it's great vintage science fiction. And I just think that it's a story you'd enjoy, especially, like I said, if you have any interest in business. I mean, and it's not all about business, but it's funny the way they handle it uh, throughout this whole story. But really good story, really enjoyed it. Uh, it's not my favorite thing I've ever read, but it was a really good story. And a little something different from the usual vintage science fiction you get. And there's always room for that. I love reading vintage science fiction, and I like the different types of stories uh, um, that you find when you read vintage science fiction, because you never know what you're going to get with it. I mean, you might get something outlandishly crazy, or something like this that's a little more based in reality and science fiction, as much as it can be. But really good story. Recommend it. And thanks for hanging out with me this week, and I will see you guys next week.